probability distribution. So now before going to the distributions, let us understand some basic definitions which are very essential to solve the problems in this module. So random experiment, experiments which can be repeated any number of times under a similar condition, and the result of a particular trial cannot be predicted, are known as random experiment. So random experiments are those experiments which can be repeated many times under similar condition, but the result of the particular trial cannot be predicted. So let us understand this definition by taking some of the examples. So tossing a coin. So you may toss a coin 1 time, 2 time, 3 time or 10 times. So each time you may get a different result which is unpredictable. So similarly, throwing a die. When you throw a die, you may get a number from 1 to 6. But if you throw a die 10 times or 20 times, so each time you may get a different numbers. So in that case also you can't predict the exact result. Taking balls from a bag. So if a bag contains 10 different colors of balls, so when you pick a ball first time, you may get a different colored ball. When you pick the ball second time, you may get a different ball of different color. So each time you can't predict which colored ball you are going to get. So these are the examples of random experiment. Now there are other basic definitions. Sample space, the set of all possible outcomes of a random experiment are called sample space. So sample space means it is the set of all possible outcomes of a random experiment. So sample space is denoted by S. Then event, subset of the sample spaces is called an event. So event means it is the subset of a sample spaces. So subset means it is the set which contains lesser elements than the sample spaces. Events are usually denoted by capital A, capital B, capital C, etc. Now probability of occurring of event E. Probability of occurring of event E is given by total number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. So you should remember this definition. This is very important and it is basic one. So probability of any event E is given by total number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. Now let us understand these basic definitions by taking some examples. So example 1, tossing a coin. So here random experiment is the random experiment we are conducting is tossing 2 coins. So what is the sample space? Sample space means it is the set of all possible outcomes of a random experiment. So here random experiment is we are tossing 2 coins. So sample space, the set of all possible outcomes. So what are the outcomes when we toss 2 coins? We may get head, then head and tail, tail and head, then tail and tail. So total outcomes 4. Now let us take event A. Event A is getting head. Which are the out of these 4 possibilities, out of these 4 outcomes, what are the favorable outcomes here? Getting head. So that is head and head and head and tail. Then tail and head. HH, HT, TH. So total outcomes are 4. Favorable outcomes are 3. So probability of event A. Probability of A is favorable outcome divided by total number of outcomes. So probability of A is 3 by 4. So similarly, let us take event B, getting head in the first toss. So that is to get head in the first toss is first outcome, that is H and H, then H and T. Here TH doesn't comes here. We should not consider TH because we are getting head second time. So there are only 2 possibilities, HH and HT, getting head in the first toss. So the favorable outcomes are only 2. So probability of event B is favorable outcome divided by total outcome. So favorable outcome is 2 divided by total outcome is 4. So 2 by 4, which is equal to 1 by 2. Let us take the second example. Throwing a die. So random experiment we are conducting is throwing a die. So sample space S is we may get a number from 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total outcomes 6. So event A is getting odd numbers. So out of these 6 numbers, the odd numbers are 1, 3 and 5. So event A is 1, 3, 5. So favorable outcomes are 3. Total outcomes are 6. So probability of event A, that is probability of getting odd numbers, is favorable outcome divided by total outcome, that is 3 by 6. 3 by 6 is 1 by 2. So now let us take event B. Event B is getting number greater than 2. So now out of these 6 outcomes, which are the numbers greater than 2? So they are 3, 4, 5, 6. So the set B, event B is 3, 4, 5, 6. So favorable outcomes are 4. So probability of B is, probability of B means probability of getting number greater than 2, which is equal to favorable outcome divided by total outcome. So 4 by 6, 4 and 6 are divisible by 2. So this is equal to 2 by 3. So now random variables. So we denote it by R dot V, RV. So in the sample space of random experiment, for every outcome, if real variable is assigned, then it is called a random variable. So you have to understand this definition. This is very important. So in a random experiment, for every random experiment, we can write a sample space. So for each outcome, for every outcome in the sample space, a real variable is assigned. For every outcome of a sample space, a real variable is assigned, then that variable is called a random variable. So random variables are usually denoted by capital S, capital Y and capital Z, and a random variables is also called stochastic variable. Now let us understand this definition by taking a simple example. Example 1, tossing 2 coins. So random experiment is tossing 2 coins. Sample space, we get HH, HT, TH, TT. So total outcomes are 4. So random variable we are going to introduce here is X. X is number of heads. So now we are going to assign this random variable for each outcome of the sample space S. Means for each outcome, for all these 4 outcomes, we are going to check the number of heads. Now for H and H, for the first outcome, number of heads are 2. Second outcome, H and T, number of heads is 1. For TH, number of heads is 1. For TT, there is no heads. So number of heads is 0. So now X takes the values 0. 1 is appeared 2 times. So 1 and 2. X takes the values 0, 1 and 2. So now construct this table. Heads, first row is heads. Number of heads, that is random variable X, capital X. So X takes the values 0, 1 and 2. So total outcome is 4. So number of occurrences, 0 is appeared how many times? 0 is occurred how many times? It is occurred only 1 time. So 1 is occurred how many times? It is occurred 2 times. So 2 is occurred how many times? Only 1 time. So if you add all these values, 1 plus 2 plus 1, it is 4. So 4 is the total outcome. Now probability of X. So for this random variable, we will take the probabilities. So probability of X means probability of X equals 0. So now we have to take probability of X equals 0. So if you take these values as X1, X2 and X3. So this is probability of X1, means probability of 0. Probability of 0 is, so total outcomes 4, 0 is appeared only one time. So probability of x equals 0 is 1 by 4. Now, so probability of x2. What is x2? If x2 is 1. So 1 is appeared how many times? 2 times. Total values of x, total outcomes 4. So probability of x equals 1 is 2 by 4. So now it is 2 by 4. Then probability of x3. So x3 is 2. So total outcomes 4. But 2 is appeared how many times? Only one time. So total favorable outcome divided by total outcome. So that is 2 is occurred only one time. Total outcomes 4. So probability of 2 is 1 by 4. So probability of x equals 0 is 1 by 4. Probability of x equals 1 is 2 by 4. Probability of x equals 2 is 1 by 4. So if you add all these values, 1 by 4 plus 2 by 4 plus 1 by 4, you will get 1. Let's take one more example. Example 2. Tossing 3 coins. So random experiment is tossing 3 coins. Sample space is HHH, HHT, HTT, TTT, TTH, THH, HTH, THT. So when we toss 3 coins, so we get, there are 8 possibilities. So these are the 8 possibilities. So total outcomes 8. So now random variable x. Let us introduce random variable x, number of heads. For each outcomes of a sample space S, we are going to assign this random variable x. Means for each outcome we are going to check the number of heads. So first outcome HHH, number of heads 3. For HHT, number of heads 2. For HTT, number of heads 1. TTT, number of heads 0. TTH, number of heads 1. Then THH, number of heads 2. HTH, number of heads 2. THT, number of heads 1. So x is taking the values 0, 1, then 2 and 3. So x takes the values 0, 1, 2, 3. So how many values x is taking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is taking 8 values. So now, so as we did in the previous example, here also let us construct this table. So random variable x, that is number of heads. X takes the values 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Total outcomes here, it is 8. So number of occurrences. So 1 is occurred how many times? 1, 2, 3. Sorry, first time 0. Number of occurrences of 0. So 0 is occurred how many times? Only one time. So 1. Now 1 is occurred how many times? 1, 2, 3. 3 times. 2 is occurred how many times? 1, 2, 3. So it is 3. Now 3 is occurred how many times? Only one time. So now let us take probabilities for each xi values. So these are x1, x2, x3, x4 values. So probability of x1. This is probability of x1. x1 means 0. Probability of 0. So probability of 0. 0 is occurred how many times? Only one time. Total outcomes 8. So it is 1 by 8. Now probability of x2. What is x2? x2 is 1. So probability of 1. So 1 is occurred how many times? 1, 2, 3. Total outcomes 8. So it is 3 by 8. Now x3 is 2. Probability of x3. Probability of x3 means probability of 2. So 2 is occurred how many times? 1, 2, 3. So total outcomes 8. So probability of x equals to is 3 by 8. So similarly, so x4 is 3. Probability of x4 is probability of 3. 3 is occurred how many times? Only one time. Total outcome 8. So it is 1 by 8. Now add all these values. So 1 by 8 plus 3 by 8 plus 3 by 8 plus 1 by 8. So 3 plus 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 by 8. 8 by 8 is 1. So now there are two kinds of random variables. First one is discrete random variables. Second one is continuous random variables. So now let us see what is discrete and continuous random variables. Discrete random variables, a random variable that takes finite or countable set of values, or random variables that takes on integer values, such as 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, is called discrete random variable. So discrete random variables means they are the variables which takes only the finite set of values, or integer type of values. For example, if you take let us take the first example, number of telephone calls received by a person in a day. So a person in a day, he can receive 1 call or 2 calls, 3 calls, 4 calls, 10 calls, 15 calls, 25 calls, 35 calls, 40 calls, 50 calls. So all are integer values. So they are finite. If you see the second example, number of attempts made by the graduate to get a job. A graduate to get a job, he can attempt 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, 15 times. So all these are integer values. So it takes finite values. So this is an example of discrete random variable. So third example, number of marks scored by a student in a subject. So a student in a subject, he can score a marks from 0 to 100. He may score 0 marks, he may score 1 mark, 2 mark, 5 marks, 10 marks, 15 marks, 80 marks, 90 marks. So all are integer values. They are finite. So these are the examples of discrete random variables. Now let us see what is continuous random variables. A random variable that takes infinite or uncountable set of values. So continuous random variables means it takes infinite values or uncountable set of values, which is not countable. Uncountable means you can't count those values. Or random variables that takes on all values in a certain interval is called continuous random variable. For example, speed of a moving car from destination A to destination B. So if the car moves from destination A to destination B, it takes infinite set of values. If you observe the speedometer, the speed of the car will fluctuate each second. In each and every second, the speed of the car will fluctuate. So it takes infinite set of values from destination A to destination B. Now second example is life of an electric bulb. So if you take the life of an electric bulb, the electric bulb may last long for 1 day or 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 1 year, 2 years, or 1 month, 1 day, 1 month, 2 days, or 2 months. It may last long for 3 months. So it takes infinite set of values. So these two are examples of continuous random variables because they takes continuous values. This concept is discrete probability function, or it is also called as probability function. Let x be a discrete random variable which takes the values x1, x2, x3 and so on with probabilities p1, p2, p3 etc., which is denoted as p of xi. Then p of xi is called a discrete probability function or probability function which satisfies the following conditions. So first condition, p of xi greater than or equal to 0 for all I. Second condition, sigma p of xi, I from 1 to n, should be equal to 1. So any function p of xi, if it satisfies these two conditions, that is p of xi should be greater than or equal to 0. Second condition, sigma p of xi, I from 1 to n, should be equal to 1. Then the function is called probability function or discrete probability function. The function p of xi is also called probability function or discrete probability function or probability density function. It is also called as probability density function PDF, or it is also called as probability mass function PMF. So if you take this example, so let us take this example, tossing two coins. Already we have discussed this example. Sample species HH, HT, TH, TT. Total outcomes are 4. So random variable we have taken x equals number of heads. So x equals in the first outcome 2 heads, second outcome 1 head, third outcome 1 head, fourth outcome there is no head, so 0. So x takes the value 0, 1, 2. So now we have discussed how to write this table. So if you see this table, so these are the x values, x1, x2, x3. Then these are the probability values, p of x1, p of x2, p of x3. Now if you observe this table, so each p of xi values are greater than 0. See here, this value is greater than 0. So this is greater than 0, this is greater than 0. So first condition is satisfied. What is the first condition? First condition is p of xi should be greater than or equal to 0 for all I. So in this example, so first condition is satisfied because p of x1 is greater than or equal to 0, p of x2 is greater than or equal to 0, p of x3 is greater than or equal to 0. Now we have to check the second condition. What is the second condition? Sigma p of xi should be equal to 1. So sigma p of xi means add all these values. So p of x1 plus p of x2 plus p of x3. So this is p of x1, p of x2, p of x3. For x1 we have p of x1, for x2 we have p of x2, for x3 we have p of x3. So when we add this value, p of x1 is 1 by 4, p of x2 is 2 by 4, p of x3 is 1 by 4. So this is equal to 4 by 4. 4 by 4 is 1. So sigma p of xi is 1. So it satisfies, this example satisfies both the conditions. First condition, p of xi, first condition is p of xi should be greater than or equal to 0. First condition is satisfied. So second condition, sigma p of xi is equal to 1. So both the conditions are satisfied. So this distribution is called discrete probability distribution, and p of x is a probability function or discrete probability function. So now the set of values xi, p of xi together called discrete probability distribution. So in that example, x values and p of x values together they are called discrete probability distribution. So in this example, x value 0, 1, 2 and p of x, that is 1 by 4, 2 by 4, 1 by 4. Together these values are called discrete probability distribution of discrete random variable. So the set of values xi comma p of xi together called discrete probability distribution of discrete random variable x. So if xi comma p of xi are finite, then it is also called as finite probability distribution. So now for discrete random variable, mean is denoted by mu. In some of the methods they have also taken E of x. E of x means expected value. So mean is calculated by this formula, sigma xi into p of xi. We have to take product of xi and p of xi. Then variance is denoted by v or sigma square, which is equal to sigma xi square into p of xi minus mu square, or we can also take sigma xi minus mu whole square into p of xi. So you have to remember this. So this is very important. In some of the methods they have taken v equals e of x square minus mu square. We can also take e of x square minus mu square. Now standard deviation is denoted by sigma. Sigma is square root v. Let us solve the problems on this probability distribution. Show that the following distribution represents a discrete probability distribution. Find mean, variance and standard deviation. So x and p of x values are given. So a distribution is given. We have to show that it is a discrete probability distribution. So after that we have to find mean, variance and standard deviation. So x and p of x values are given. Here x1 is 10, x2 is 20, x3 is 30, x4 is 40. Then probability of x. P of x1 is 1 by 8, P of x2 is 3 by 8, P of x3 is 3 by 8, P of x4 is 1 by 8. So we know that x and P of x values together, they are called as discrete probability distribution. So when we say that the probability distribution is a discrete probability distribution, it should satisfy two conditions. P of x should be greater than or equal to 0 and sigma P of x equal to 1. So first condition is clear. So if you see the values of P of x1, P of x2, P of x3 and P of x4, all these values are greater than or equal to 0. So here P of x is greater than 0 and we have to check the second condition, sigma P of x. Sigma P of x means, so you have to add all these values, 1 by 8 plus 3 by 8 plus 3 by 8 plus 1 by 8. So 1 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1, 8 by 8 equal to 1. So both the conditions are satisfied. So given distribution is a discrete probability distribution. So now we have to find mean. How to find mean? It is denoted by a symbol mu. The formula is sigma product of x and p of x. So you have to take the product of x and p of x. See the table? You have to take the products of x and p of x. Then add all the values. So we get 10 into 1 by 8 plus 20 into 3 by 8 plus 30 into 3 by 8 plus 40 into 1 by 8. So this is equal to 200 by 8, which is equal to 25. So now we have to find the variance V. It is given by sigma x minus mu whole square into p of x. So x minus mu. So mu value is 25. Mu is 25. So x minus mu. So you have to see the table. X is 10. 10 minus 25 is minus 15. So x1 is 10. Mu is 25. So 10 minus 25 is minus 15. Minus 15 whole square. So here minus 15 whole square into p of x. P of x value is 1 by 8. Plus again x2 is 20 and mu is 25. 20 minus 25 is minus 5. So minus 5 whole square into p of x. What is p of x? 3 by 8. So it is 3 by 8 plus then x2 is 30. 30 minus 25, that is plus 5. So 5 whole square into p of x. What is p of x? That is 3 by 8 plus x minus mu. So x is 40. 40 minus 25 is 15 plus 15. So 15 whole square into p of x. What is p of x? 1 by 8. So this is equal to 225 by 8 plus 75 by 8 plus 75 by 8 plus 225 by 8. So this is equal to 600 by 8. So variance V is 75. Now standard deviation. It is denoted by sigma, which is equal to square root V. Square root V is square root 75. Square root 75 is 25 into 3. That is 5 root 3. Find the value of k such that the following distribution represents a finite probability distribution. Hence, find its mean and standard deviation. Also find probability of x less than or equal to 1, probability of x greater than 1, and probability of minus 1 less than x less than or equal to 2. So x and p of x values are given. So here x values are minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. P of x values are k, 2k, 3k, 4k, 3k, 2k and k. So, now it is given that the distribution is a finite probability distribution. So, when we say that it is a finite probability distribution, if it satisfies two conditions, that is P of x greater than or equal to 0 and sigma P of x should be equal to 1. So, now P of x greater than or equal to 0 means when you see the values of P of x, each values are greater than 0. When k greater than or equal to 0, P of x will be greater than or equal to 0. So, first condition is satisfied. So, now we have the second condition, that is sigma P of x equals 1. So, now sigma P of x means we have to add all the values of P of x. So, k plus 2k plus 3k plus 4k plus 3k plus 2k plus k, which is equal to 1. So, adding the left hand side, we get 16k equals 1. So, k equals 1 by 16. So, now again we have to rewrite the table, substitute the values of k. So, probability distribution is, or finite probability distribution is, so why we call it as a finite probability distribution? Because x is taking the finite values. So, x values are -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So, all are finite values. So, it is a finite probability distribution or only probability distribution. So, P of x values are k is 1 by 16, 2k means 2 by 16, 3k means 3 by 16, 4k means 4 by 16, 3k is 3 by 16, 2k is 2 by 16 and k is 1 by 16. So, when we add all these values 1 by 16 plus 2 by 16 plus 3 by 16 plus 4 by 16 plus 3 by 16 plus 2 by 16 plus 1 by 16, it will be equal to 1. So, sigma P of x is equal to 1. So, both the conditions are satisfied, that is P of x greater than or equal to 0 and sigma P of x is equal to 1. So, this is a finite probability distribution. So, now we have to find the value of mean. Mean is denoted by mu. So, it is calculated by the formula sigma x into P of x. So, we have to find the product of x and P of x, then add all the values. So, in P of x 1 by 16 is common, we can take 1 by 16 as common. Now, -3 into 1, that is -3, -2 into 2, -4, -1 into 3, -3, 0 into 4, 0, 1 into 3 is 3, 2 into 2 is 4, 3 into 1 is 3. So, 1 by 16 is common. So, now adding all the values we get 0, 1 by 16 into 0 is 0. Now, variance is denoted by capital V and the formula is sigma x minus mu whole square into P of x. So, again x minus mu means we have to take the difference. So, mu is, that is mean, the value of mu is 0, subtract x and mu, then take the product of P of x. So, P of x, in P of x 1 by 16 is common. So, take 1 by 16 as common, then x minus mu, x minus mu means -3 minus 0 is -3. So, -3 whole square is 9, 9 into P of x is 1. Now, -2 minus 0. So, -2 whole square is 4, 4 into 2 is 8 plus -1 minus 0 is -1 whole square is 1 into 3 is 3. So, likewise we get 0 plus 3 plus 8 plus 9, which is equal to 40 by 16. 40 by 16 is 5 by 2. Now, standard deviation is denoted by sigma, which is equal to square root V. So, square root of V is 5 by 2. So, now we have to find the value of probability of x less than or equal to 1. So, probability of x less than or equal to 1 means, so you have to see the table, see the values of x. So, x less than or equal to 1 means, so you have to take all the values of x which is less than or equal to 1, that is x equals minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0 and 1. So, probability of x equals minus 3, then you have to add all the values, probability of x equals minus 3 plus probability of x equals minus 2 plus probability of x equals minus 1 plus probability of x equals 0 plus probability of x equals 1. So, now I add all the values 1 by 16, 2 by 16, probability of minus 3 1 by 16, probability of minus 2 2 by 16, probability of minus 1 3 by 16, probability of 0 4 by 16, probability of 1 3 by 16. So, 1 by 16 is common, when you add we get 13 by 16. So, now we have to find probability of x greater than 1. Greater than 1 means you have to take all the values of x greater than 1, that is p of x equals 2 and p of x equals 3. So, p of x equals 2 is 2 by 16, p of x equals 3 is 1 by 16, 2 plus 1 3 by 16. And now, probability of minus 1 less than x less than or equal to 2. So, we have to take the values of x from minus 1 to 2. So, do not take minus 1, do not take x equals minus 1. So, probability of x equals 0, probability of x equals 1, probability of x equals 2. So, here x is greater than minus 1, it is not greater than or equal to minus 1. So, do not take x equals minus 1. So, probability of 0 is 4 by 16, probability of 1 is 3 by 16, probability of 2 is 2 by 16. So, adding all the values we get 9 by 16. So, if you see all these probability values, it lies between 0 and 1, 13 by 16, 3 by 16, 9 by 16, all these values lies in between 0 and 1. A random variable x has the following probability function for various values of x. So, in the table x and p of x values are given, x values are given from 0 to 7 and p of x values are given in terms of k. So, first case find k, second case evaluate p of x less than 6, p of x greater than or equal to 6 and p of 3 less than x less than or equal to 6. So, now we must have, so given, so random variable x as the probability function means we must have p of x greater than or equal to 0 and sigma p of x should be equal to 1. So, now if you see the values of p of x, so each and every term are greater than or equal to 0, all are positive. If k is positive, p of x will be greater than or equal to 0. Now, we have to check the second condition, that is sigma p of x should be equal to 1. So, now sigma p of x means add all the values of p of x, 0 plus k plus 2k plus 2k plus 3k plus k square plus 2k square plus 7k square plus k. So, this is equal to 1. So, now 2k square plus 7k square plus k square, we get 10k square plus k plus 2k plus 2k plus 3k plus k is 9k minus 1 equals 0, or so this equation we can factorize this equation, we get 10k minus 1 into k plus 1 equals 0. So, k plus 1 equals 0 means k equals minus 1 and 10k minus 1 means k equals 1 by 10. So, here we have to neglect k equals minus 1 because p of x values are greater than or equal to 0. If you take k equals minus 1, p of x values will become negative, it is not possible. So, that is if k equals minus 1, the first condition fails. So, you have to take k equals 1 by 10. So, k should be a positive value. So, take k equals 1 by 10. Now, substitute the values of k in the table and we have to rewrite the table again. So, hence we have the following table. So, when x equals 0, p of x is 0, when x equals 1, p of x is 1 by 50, that is k is 1 by 10, when x equals 2, p of x is 1 by 5, when x equals 3, p of x is 1 by 5, when x equals 4, p of x is 3 by 10, When x equals 5, p of x is 1 by 100. When x equals 6, p of x is 1 by 50. When x equals 7, p of x is 17 by 100. So, when you add all the values of p of x, you will get 1. So, now we have to find p of x less than 6. P of x less than 6 means probability of x less than 6. So, now see the table and take all the values of x which is less than 6. So, that is p of x equals 0 plus p of x equals 1 plus p of x equals 2 plus p of x equals 3 plus p of x equals 4 plus p of x equals 5. So, from you have to take from 0 to 5. Now, p of 0 is 0, p of 1 is 1 by 10, p of 2 is 1 by 5, p of 3 is 1 by 5, p of 4 is 3 by 10 and p of 5 is 1 by 100. So, now adding all the values, we get 81 by 100 or 0.81. So, p of x less than 6, you can also take its complement like 1 minus p of x greater than or equal to 6. In that case also you will get 0.81. Now, second case, p of x greater than or equal to 6. So, x greater than or equal to 6 means p of x equals 6 plus p of x equals 7. So, which is equal to p of x equals 6 is 1 by 50 plus p of x equals 7 is 17 by 100. So, this is equal to taking LCM 19 by 100 which is equal to 0.19. Third case, p of 3 less than x less than or equal to 6. So, less than x is less than 3, but greater than or equal to 6. Sorry, x is greater than 3, but less than or equal to 6. So, you have to take p of 4 plus p of 5 plus p of 6. So, do not consider p of 3 because x is strictly greater than 3. So, now p of 4 is 3 by 10, p of 5 is 1 by 100, p of 6 is 1 by 50. So, take LCM or use the calci to add, we get 33 by 100 which is equal to 0.33. So, when you see the probabilities in all the cases, the probability value lies in between 0 and 1. So, in the first case p of x less than 6 is 0.81, in the second case it is 0.19, in the third case 0.33. So, all these values lies in between 0 and 1. A random variable x, take the values minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2 and 3 such that probability of x equals 0 equals probability of x less than 0 and probability of x equals minus 3, probability of x equals minus 3 equals probability of x equals minus 2 equals probability of x equals minus 1 equals probability of x equals 1 equals probability of x equals 2 which is equal to probability of x equals 3. Find the probability distribution. So, here in the data x values are given from minus 3 to 3 and the two conditions are given. So, now let the distribution x comma p of x be as follows. So, p of x values are not given here, only x values are given, but two conditions are given. So, x values are from minus 3 to 3, then p of x values we have to take, since it is not given we have to take p 1, p 2, p 3, p 4, p 5, p 6, p 7. Now, let us use the two conditions here to find the values of p of x. So, first condition p of x equals 0 equals p of x less than 0. So, p of x equals 0 equals p of x less than 0. So, x less than 0 means if you see the table we get minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. So, these are the values which are less than 0. So, p of x less than 0 means p of x equals minus 1 plus p of x equals minus 2 plus p of x equals minus 3. So, p of x equals 0 means we have taken p 4. So, p 4 equals p of x equals minus 1 is p 3 plus p of x equals minus 2 is p 2 and p of x equals minus 3 is p 1. So, take this equation as 1 Now let us take the second condition. Let us take the second condition here. So second condition is from the data we have p of x equals minus 3, that is p1, p of x equals minus 2 is p2, p of x equals minus 1 is p3, then p of x equals 1 is p5, p of x equals 2 is p6, p of x equals 3 is p7, except p4 we have to take all the values. So except p4 we have to take all the values. So p1 equals, from the second condition we have p1 equals, p2 equals, p3 equals, p5 equals, p6 equals, p7. So take this equation as 2. So now to find the distribution we have to check the second condition. What is the second condition? It should satisfy sigma p of x equals 1. So we must have sigma p of x equals 1. So sigma p of x equals 1 means, so add all the values of p of x, that is p1 plus p2 plus p3 plus p4 plus p5 plus p6 plus p7, which is equal to 1. So take this equation as 3. So now we have to find the values of p1, p2, p3, p4, p5, p6, p7. So use equation 2 in equation 1. So equation 2 in equation 1 we have, so here if you see equation 2, p3 is p1 and p2 is also p1 from equation 2. So we get p4 equals p1 plus p1 plus p1, that is equal to p4 equals 3p1. Now use equation 2 in equation 3. So in equation 2 we have p2 is equal to p1, p3 is equal to p1, p5 is also equal to p1, p6 is also equal to p1, p7 is also equal to p1, except p4. Except p4, so all the p values are equal to p1. So we get 6 times p1, that is 6 into p1 plus p4 equals 1. So but p4 is 3p1, so we get 6p1 plus 3p1 equals 1. So that is equal to 9p1 equals 1. So p1 is 1 by 9. But what is p4? P4 is, so p1, p2, p3, p5, p6, p7. Now all the values are equal to 1 by 9 except p4. But p4 is 3p1, so it is equal to p4 equals 3 into 1 by 9. 3 into 1 by 9 is 1 by 3. So thus the probability distribution is, so again we have to rewrite the table, substitute the values of p1, p2, p3, p4, p5, p6, p7 in the table. So again write down the table x and p of x values. X values are minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. Now p of x values. So p4 is 1 by 3, that is for x equals 0. For x equals 0, p4 is 1 by 3 and all the values are 1 by 9. p1 is 1 by 9, p2 is 1 by 9, p3 is 1 by 9, p5 is 1 by 9, p6 is 1 by 9 and p7 is 1 by 9. So this is the probability distribution. Exercise problems. Try to solve these problems. The probability density function of a variate x is given by the following table. X and p of x values are given. For what value of x, for what value of k, this represents a valid probability distribution. So here first you have to find the value of k, then again you have to rewrite the table, substitute the value of k in the table, you will get a probability distribution. So after finding the probability distribution, then you have to find probability of x greater than or equal to 5 and probability of 3 less than x less than or equal to 6. So k value you will get 1 by 49 and p of x greater than or equal to 5 is 24 by 49 and probability of 3 less than x less than or equal to 6 is 33 by 49. And second problem, the probability distribution of a finite random variable x is given by the following table. So in the table probability distribution is given, x and p of x values are given. So for this distribution, first you have to find the value of k. So after finding the value of k, find mean and variance. So k value you will get 0.1. Then mean is denoted by mu. So you should get 0.8. Then variance is denoted by capital V, that is equal to 2.16.